can now accept the job change quest. At the White Tiger Guild, we meet the manager named Sang, as he learns that someone spent 150 million to acquire the rights to the C-rank gates. His assistant tells him about Yujin's strike team, explaining that Yujin is the son of a wealthy businessman. But Sang thinks he's crazy, and he looks into the members of the team, realizing that Jinwoo is one of them, and he takes interest in him. Sang believes that Jinwoo has reawakened, telling his assistant that Jinwoo has survived 3 major disasters, which led to the death of several hunters. He believes the only explanation is that Jinwoo has gotten stronger, so he decides to look for him. Sang finds Yujin's group, but he wonders why they're having a picnic, and Song Yi approaches him, telling him that the area is off limits. So he explains that his curiosity led him there, asking her if she's a part of the team, but he wonders why Jinwoo isn't with them. He realizes that Jinwoo is trying to clear the dungeon without them, thinking he must be extremely powerful, and Sang decides to leave. Moments later, Jinwoo exits the gate, and he asks Yujin if he can take a day off, because he has something he needs to do. But Yujin explains that they still need to clear the dungeons he reserved, and they realize that they might have to cancel it, but Yujin won't get his money back. We cut to Choi, as he has a nightmare about his raid on Jeju Island. We learn that he's been having the same dream, but he realizes that it's almost time to put his plan into action. We return to Jinwoo, as Sang approaches him, and they have a drink at a cafe, as Sang introduces himself, saying he's from the White Tiger Guild. He tells Jinwoo that they want to hire him, and they're willing to pay him twice the amount that Yujin is paying him. But he asks Sang how much the White Tiger Guild is worth, so he reveals that it's close to 50 billion, and Jinwoo explains that they can't afford him, because Yujin offered to give him a building worth 30 billion. Sang is surprised to hear this, and Jinwoo is about to leave, but he wonders how Sang learned about him. He suddenly disappears, and Sang panics, as Jinwoo cuts him. He realizes that Jinwoo is using the stealth skill, so Sang immediately apologizes for looking into him, saying he meant no harm. He reveals that he came across Jinwoo's name while he was looking into the dungeon market, saying the guild needs C-rank dungeons to train rookies, but Yujin already bought the rights to all of them. He explains that he and his assistant are the only ones who know about Jinwoo, and he tells Sang that he wants to keep a low profile, threatening to kill them if they write a report about him. So Sang promises to keep his mouth shut, and Jinwoo spares his life, explaining that his team needs to monopolize the C-rank gates until they achieve their goal. He offers to sell 3 gates for 900 million, but Sang thinks it's too expensive, offering 600 million instead, and Jinwoo ends up agreeing. Before they part ways, Jinwoo tells Sang to open his mouth, and he gives Sang a healing potion, so he asks Jinwoo if he trusts him, but he just tells Sang to keep his mouth shut. Jinwoo returns home, and Yujin tells him that he has received the 600 million from Sang, asking him how he was able to sell the dungeons at a ridiculously high price. But he refuses to say anything, and Sang realizes that he has been scammed, because there are other C-rank dungeons selling for less than half the price. He receives a message from Jinwoo, which mentions that he's going to forget that Sang spied on him, and Sang realizes that they're now even. Jinwoo leaves the city, and he goes to a forest, where he plans to complete the job change quest. He notes that he was given time to decide, thinking the quest is going to be difficult, but he accepts it anyway, and a portal appears, so he enters it, as he wonders what's waiting for him inside. He realizes that the dungeon is too peaceful, but the system informs him that he can't heal while he's inside, and he can't leave until he has cleared the dungeon. A knight approaches him, so he equips his dagger, and he manages to land a hit, but it doesn't do anything. So he tries using his skill to land a critical hit, but his dagger can't pierce through its armor, and he realizes that his weapon is useless against it. So he uses his bare hands, and he's able to remove its head, killing it in an instant, but a group of knights suddenly appear.
Yesterday I got eat food very tasty biryani.
ഈ സെന്റൻസിൽ ചില മിസ്റ്റേക്സ് ഉണ്ട്. ഇങ്ങനെ കറക്റ്റായി പറഞ്ഞു നോക്കൂ. I went out to eat yesterday. The biryani was really tasty.
It's actually super.
And he's able to remove its head, killing it in an instant, but a group of knights suddenly appear. We cut to Yujin as he has dinner with his family. We learn that his brother Yusong is trying to establish a guild, but he can't find an S-rank hunter to lead it, so he thinks about recruiting hunters from overseas. He knows that Yujin is also trying to start a guild in secret, so he tells Yujin not to get in the way, but he chooses not to say anything, thinking his brother will be surprised to learn about Jinwoo. Jinwoo uses his brute strength to defeat the knights, and he notes that he's getting tired, but he suddenly senses a presence, so he takes his weapon, and he stabs an assassin, realizing that they have the stealth skill. A mage suddenly attacks him, but it misses, as he realizes that the enemies in the dungeon are similar to the ones he fought in the past. He knows that dealing with them is going to be difficult, because they have different weaknesses, and he notes that he needs higher intellect to deal with the mages. So he struggles against them, and he realizes that his fatigue is starting to build up. But he still manages to defeat them, and he realizes that they dropped an armor, so he decides to wear it, realizing that it's invisible, and it doesn't restrict his movements. He notes that his fatigue has recovered, so he decides to proceed deeper, and he sees an enormous door, so he opens it, thinking he's about to meet the boss. He enters the throne room, where he senses a powerful presence as the knight commander named Igris appears. He realizes that it's stronger than him, thinking it's nothing like the opponents he defeated so far. It suddenly charges in, and he's able to evade its attack, but it shatters the pillar behind him. Igris takes a swing, and he tries to block it, but it sends him flying, and Igris continues to pursue him as he struggles to keep up with its movements. He tries to fight back, but it dodges his attacks, and he manages to land a hit, but it doesn't do anything. Igris strikes back, and he tries to defend against it, but it manages to overpower him, pushing him back. He notes that he can match Igris's speed, but he's no match for its strength, and his dagger is useless against its armor, so he wonders how he can defeat it. He doesn't think he can win without his weapon, but he decides to throw hands, and Igris throws away his weapons, wanting to fight fair. We see Gunyi in his office, as Jinchul joins him, telling him that Choi has made his move, and Gunyi receives a call from Choi, who reveals that his group is ready to head out. He thanks Gunyi for approving the mission, and Gunyi explains that the public hasn't forgotten about Jeju Island, telling him to be careful. We return to Jinwoo, as Igris smashes him to the ground, and throws him away. He endures a brutal beatdown, and he notes that he would have died if it weren't for his armor, thinking the only way to defeat Igris is to boost his speed, so he uses his dash skill, and he attacks Igris with everything he has. But it manages to evade his attacks, and it counters, launching him to the air and smashing him into the ground. But Jinwoo refuses to give up, attacking Igris relentlessly, and he's able to hit its head, causing it to black out. But it immediately recovers, and it becomes enraged, delivering a devastating combo and sending him crashing against the wall. Jinwoo is exhausted, as Igris summons its sword, trying to finish him off, but he still refuses to give up, pushing the sword away. He equips his dagger, and he uses it to blind Igris, causing it to become stunned, as he smashes it against the corner. But Igris takes his dagger, trying to use it to kill him, but it suddenly disappears, because it can't change owners, so it returns to Jinwoo's inventory. He equips it once again, and he targets Igris's neck, attacking it with everything he has. The dagger pierces through it, killing Igris in an instant, as Jinwoo realizes he has won, but he notes that he just got lucky, because Igris was the superior fighter. The system shows him his rewards, which includes an S-rank helmet, so he tries wearing it, as he notes that this is the first time he acquired such a powerful equipment. He also receives a rune stone, which allows him to learn a skill called the Ruler's Hand, and he wonders why Igris dropped a teleportation stone, thinking he has already cleared the dungeon. But portals suddenly appear, as the system tells him to survive for as long as possible. It displays a timer, as countless knights enter the room, so Jinwoo takes them on, but he realizes that there's too many of them. So he uses his stealth skill, thinking about hiding to buy time, but a mage appears, and it casts a spell, which allows the knights to see him. He's about to get hit, so he uses his murderous intent, stunning the knights, and he takes them out, but he realizes that he's running out of mana. He struggles to fight